welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. Hi, my name is Raquel, I am 27, I just got an email, what the hell. And this is my second video out of 12 for Scoliosis Awareness Month, which is June. So I'm going to jump in. I'm pretty sure this is the most research I've ever had to do for a video because I had to do this. So I have my notes here and all the info stuff. I have the light on my ring light on yellow right now, and it's like warm tone, so it's nice. But this is video 2 right here. So all this little notes and such. I honestly don't think this video is going to be longer than 15 minutes. And I'm just gonna like jump in and everything. It's actually kind of hot in my room. I have my bed heater on, so I'll actually turn that down a little bit. And I have some thinking putty that I can play with, so that's gonna be this video. I honestly have no idea what I'm gonna say entirely, like how I'm gonna say it and like where I'm gonna actually start. Oh, it's hot with this hat on. I honestly have a hat on just because. Actually, maybe, no, should I reshoot this? No, I won't. I have a hat on because my hair is a mess, and I don't feel like dealing with it, so, and I'm also still in my pajamas, and it's like 6:30 on a Thursday night. I had to think about that. I thought it was Monday for a second, but it's not Monday. That's just where we're at right now. So we gotta accept where we're at, and jump on into the video. So yeah, this is gonna be all of the informational details, like the stuff, if you don't know about it already, I'm gonna like let you know, so you're gonna learn about stuff, the educational portion, I guess, and then the rest of all these other videos will just be my own experiences. I am gonna share like my own experiences like in this video a little bit within the informational stuff, but I'll make sure that I'm like, okay, this is like my own story with it, so that kind of thing. So let's jump in. Alright, let's do that. So oh, I should mention what day it is, too. So this is going to be a video, so if you don't know, sorry, I'm like wicked scatterbrained, but if you don't know and this is your first time here, this is video 2 of 12. I already said that, but video 2 of 12, I am uploading Tuesdays and Fridays for the month of June for Scoliosis Awareness Month, which technically 12 videos won't fit in that time, but it'll probably go into July, it's fine, it's whatever. So, yes. And the other thing, I'm filming this June 3rd, 2021 at like 6:30. So that's also just like a thing. So honestly, I was actually procrastinating doing this video. I filmed video 1 the 26th, I think, of May. And then I've just been I've been working and stuff too, but like I've just been procrastinating doing this part of the video because I was like, oh my god. But I also, on the 26th, I filmed the 3rd video. So that's already done. I just have to edit it. But that won't be up until next Tuesday. But this video, I was like, no, I have to do that, and that's nerve-wracking and anxiety-provoking, and I just, like, wasn't doing it. Like, I really had to kind of get myself to the point right now where I was like, yo, I'm just gonna take out a piece of paper, like, this is actually, like, old calendar paper, and just take some notes, do some research, all that jazz, and then get it settled. So I finally did that, so that's good at least, but alright, me rambling out of the way. What is scoliosis? That's a good question, right? If you don't know, let's see, how do I... Again, I haven't planned this out, so I don't know how exactly... I don't even know... I'm so confused. I don't know. No, I'll keep it. Scoliosis, the spine. The spine. We're going to talk about the spine. There's the cervical spine, which is your neck, and there's C1 to C7. Then there is the thoracic spine, which is, where your chest is, pretty much. And that is T1 to T12. Then there's the lumbar spine, which is, like, your lower back. And that's L1 to L5. And then there's the sacrum, which is, like, S1, maybe S2, I don't, so that's like the... Your spine is comprised of like bones, which are called vertebrae, and they kind of stack on top of each other. And there are natural curves of the spine, so like the lumbar spine kind of goes in a little bit, and then like the thoracic part of it has like another curve. Like there's like a natural curve to it. Scoliosis is a medical condition where there is an abnormal lateral curvature, so lateral is this way, lateral curvature of the spine, and it can also have vertebral, which is the vertebrae, right, the bones. There can also be rotation of those. So essentially, scoliosis, you can kind of tell by looking at someone. I think that's a pretty known fact that you can tell by looking at someone if they have scoliosis or not, because there are because your spine makes up like your trunk. This is your trunk, right? So it is more obvious, especially if you're thinner too, which for me, I was always really thin, so like it was pretty obvious. But when the spine, the ribs, right, they go like that at whichever angle. Mine, for me, it was right. So the ribs they go like this, and then they go like that. Which that part is the rotation. This is the lateral curvature. So when you see if somebody has uneven shoulders or uneven hips, like one leg is longer than the other, one arm is a little longer than the other, that kind of thing, that can be a sign of scoliosis, because it's that lateral curvature. I also was looking at a diagram. When the ribs rotate and that curvature, the ribs on the farther side kind of separate a little more, and then the ribs on the rotated kind of side go concave a little bit, and that can obviously lead to a bunch of problems and all of that jazz. So it's essentially like a deformity kind of thing, and changes the way your body looks and all of that jazz. If somebody with scoliosis gets like the surgery for example, they can actually, it's often that they grow a few inches taller because you sort of fix a little bit of that. But we're going to get into that in a second. So that is scoliosis in a nutshell. There's also a condition called spondylolisthesis, which is a spinal deformity where a vertebrae, so one of those stacked bones, it slips forward onto another one. So it there's like a fracture, and it goes like bloop, and so this one back here kind of sticks out this way, that kind of thing. So why did I tell you about spondylolisthesis? Because I was born with congenital spondylolisthesis, so at least I was born like that. Like, it got worse as I got older. It was actually to a point, I had it in my L5-S1 region, so I had like a bump, like because I was 14 when I got my first spinal fusion surgery, and there was like an actual bump that I could feel, and of course I had the scar and everything like that. So, but like the vertebrae stuck out, and I was like, yo, what is that? And then when I had the surgery, it like, my body like did that, and I was like, oh, now I don't feel it sticking out because it's fused, and that makes sense, so yeah. But that is that. I was 14 when I got that surgery. It was November 16th, 2007. I believe it was a Friday, and that was that. But I will talk all about that experience in a future video. But that's just kind of why I'm talking about that one. The unfortunate thing for me was when I got the surgery to fix the spondylolisthesis, the scoliosis got worse, so that sucked. Okay, so treatment. Let's talk about types. No, let's talk about treatment. No, let's talk about types of scoliosis. So there's different kinds. There's congenital, which I didn't have, which is like when you're born with it kind of thing. Congenital, neuromuscular, idiopathic, as well as tons of other ones, like so many. I had idiopathic. Don't know why we had it. Just had it. There's usually like a genetic component to it, but no one in my family had it, so I don't know. Just got dealt the short stick in life, so there you go. The shit stick, more so, is what I tend to say. And then treatment options. So there's observation. So I was diagnosed when I was 6 and by my pediatrician, and then I started seeing like twice a year. I saw an orthopedic surgeon in Boston Children's Hospital, because I'm from Massachusetts, and I saw him pretty regularly, like every 6 months or so. I always get like x-rays and stuff like that. Like, I've had shit tons of x-rays. So I definitely was observed since I was like 6. when the spondylolisthesis got treated, then the scoliosis got worse, so that really sucked. And then the treatment was still, observation. And then at that point, once the scoliosis was getting worse, then I was recommended the back brace. And for me, there's different types of, There's different types of braces for scoliosis. The common ones are the Boston brace, Wilmington brace, Milwaukee brace, and there's different times you can wear. There's sometimes you can wear it at night, like only at night, like 8 hours or so. There's 16 hours a day of wearing it, and then there's 23 hours a day of wearing it. For me, I had the Boston brace. I had a dolphin on the front of it, because you could like personalize it and stuff. It was more of like a solid cylinder shape in a sense, like a rectangular shape, so it would, my whole back on this side was just the stiff of the board, so it was really uncomfortable, probably why I don't like corsets even to this day. I don't have my Boston brace anymore. I got rid of it, probably when I got my second surgery or something. I don't know, I just got rid of it. It was too painful to look at. So there was that. It was right on the boobs. It sucked. I mean, I didn't really have boobs at the time, so I mean, it was whatever, but yeah, it was very uncomfortable. I had to wear it 16 hours a day. Did I wear it? No. Like, no, I didn't, so, which is why I had to get the surgery, but anyhow, sorry, I feel like I'm like more animated or something in this video. I don't know. We're gonna roll with it. Sorry. This video is just so weird. What was I talking about? Braces. Yeah, so Boston brace was mine. Very uncomfortable. I had to wear it 16 hours a day. The most that I ever probably wore was like 9 hours. Like, there were sometimes sleeping in it was okay, but I really didn't like it. And I was silly because I wasn't open to other treatment options, So yeah, the treatment options for scoliosis is observation and back braces and spinal fusion surgery as a last resort. There are like social media awareness posts that I'm using within the thumbnails of these videos, so you can probably see those. I'm also going to try to include from now on a couple images of like quotes and like inspiration and like that kind of thing related to scoliosis that kind of are just liberating to me that I found on Google, so I'll probably include that at the end, and then there will be a video focused just on my own artwork and everything too. So, alright. There's also physical therapy. Physical therapy is very important. I didn't do that either. So, I mean, are we surprised? No. So, I had physical therapy, like, I think after my surgeries. Definitely, I went another time before as well. Physical therapy, like, core muscle is really good, like, working out the stomach and everything, like, so that you're not depending on your back as much, all that kind of jazz. That's really good. There's also things like I'm gonna have a list of resources in the description as well. There's also range of motion exercises, like the core muscles, the strength training, all of that jazz. And I found a lot of these things from choosept.com, so there's that. Also, resources in general, while I'm on the topic already. I'm going to include, again, in the description, a bunch of resources. There's Mayo Clinic for, like, informational stuff. Medline Plus, the Scoliosis Research Society has some really good articles. TreatingScoliosis.com, Scoliosis SOS Clinic. There's also online communities, like I used DeviantArt at the time. This was back in, like, what, 2007, 2014? So I wasn't on DeviantArt in 2007, but in 2011 or so I was, because I made my account on like in 2010, so yeah, but like there were posts that I have found from like 2007 and stuff. Yes, so DeviantArt, that was the thing that I used. There's also like Curvy Girls, which is a really cool organization, like support group system that I just found and read about today, which is amazing and wonderful, and I never knew about it back then, but that would have been really good. There's also spine-health.com, settingscoliosis-straight.org, orthoinfo.aaos.org, the Scoliosis SOS Clinic, rad.washington.edu, all of that. So there's a bunch of the sort of communities, resources, all that jazz. We're going to go back up to choices. So, Scoliosis is not something that can be fixed. There is no cure for it. There are just sort of the preventative things and the more serious, surgical aspects and stuff to it. Like the brace is meant to prevent the person from having to have surgery. Like, surgery is the last resort kind of thing. I found a really good quote that I liked a lot from the Ortho Info website. It said, "A brace will only work if you wear it. Like many things in life, you have a choice, but your choice also has consequences. This may not wearing the brace and stuff like that may cause various medical and quality of life issues later in life." I thought that was really important because, again, like I kind of hinted at already, I had a brace. I was supposed to wear it. I didn't wear it. Like, when I found out online, honestly, from a forum, that, like, the brace wouldn't cure me, like, it wouldn't give me a straight spine, I was like, fuck it, all or nothing. I was like, if it's not gonna give me a straight spine, then I'll have no spine. I'll have no treatment. So that's how I was at the time. 14-year-old me, kind of stupid. So, like, not thinking long-term, not thinking, no, like, dimension of time to think how this might affect me later in life, that kind of thing. Or even for the next 3 years of my life, which I, ruminated and avoided and pretended like everything was fine when it wasn't, and all that jazz. So, I mean, there was a lot of regret, there was a lot of guilt, there was a lot of, I was afraid what happens if I did everything right and then I still needed surgery regardless. Like, that to me was just insurmountable. I couldn't face that kind of reality, so I just decided that, no, I'm just going to have my teenage rebellion. I'm not going to wear my brace. I'm going to pretend like I'm wearing my brace, even though my spine keeps getting worse every time I go to the doctors. Like, hello, obviously something's wrong. Like, something's not being done, and, like, I wasn't, like, admitting it either, and, like, but, yeah, that was the way I handled it, by not handling it. And honestly, wouldn't recommend it. Like, definitely not. I would never recommend that. Again, I think it would have been different if I had been open to other options, like other types of, like, maybe like physical therapy kind of things, or just like even some sort of middle ground with the brace and everything. But at the time, I was not like that. I did not think, people told me like, oh, well, it'll affect you later on. I didn't have that grasp of the concept in a sense, so I couldn't really think of that. I had definitely the classic symptoms, like I had I favored my right side because my curve was more towards the right, so I would actually like be like kind of like sitting over, not like that exaggerated, but essentially like that, and I would lean all the way to the right. It got bad enough that, like, obviously it got bad enough that I needed surgery. Like, I was definitely in the 40-degree range. I had the S shape curve of it. Mine was mainly lumbar thoracic, I'd say, and then I would definitely like move to the right, and everything favored my right side. My right leg was longer than the other one, and like I was going somewhere with that. Welcome to my videos. This happens a lot. But yeah, like I definitely like had the tilt, and then the ribs kind of like stick out more on that side kind of thing, like when the person leans over, that kind of thing, and they get out the little degree monitor thing. And that was my teenage rebellion. That was my, oh, hi monkeys. Are you okay? Greeted by the monkeys. But that was my thing with it. I was totally going with it. I was going somewhere with that, and I'm really annoyed that I can't remember what I was going with it. I definitely would never recommend doing that as an option. That was definitely my choice at the time, in a sense. And like, again, I think it kind of goes back even to that idea with mental health, where like the person themselves has to want help and like has to want to get better. Like, definitely having a condition isn't a choice, but the recovery of it is. Like, it obviously really negatively impacted me. Like, it definitely fucked with my self-esteem, my self-worth. I felt like I couldn't talk about it. Like, I couldn't even conceptualize the idea of, like, talking about it to someone. So I just didn't. And I was leaning more towards the right. I favored my right side. So my left hips stuck out a lot more. Like, especially pre-surgery, it stuck out a lot more. And I was kind of, like, moving this way and everything. I still have somewhat of a indent, kind of, I would say, like a curve here. I also, my chest up here is concave a little bit, and also right here, right under my left boob, and got that whole one boob is bigger than the other two, but things like that. And then, you know, I had the surgery and everything, and luckily for me, the surgery, like, was good. It worked, like, it did what it needed to do. When I had to wear my support brace, like, after the surgery, like, I wore that shit. Like, I was like, when I was 17, I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing that again. Like, I'm gonna, if I have to wear it, I'm gonna wear it, and I'm gonna redeem myself, wear it. And if anything, I probably wore it all the time, like, too much. But it was helpful. Like, I wore it as I needed to and everything. And then I wore it to school and everything too. So I had it under my clothes and all that jazz. I actually have my senior photos from high school where I was in my brace, but you couldn't really tell, kind of thing. So there was that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this video lost a lot of its energy. Like, where'd that energy go? But I don't know. This was a post. This was a video, I guess. And I'm definitely over the time that I thought I was gonna be, but I think I also have some pauses in it that I can get out as well. But overall, I think there is something very empowering about having that choice. Like, you know, you can get better, you could not get better, and whatever you decide, that's up to you. Like, no one can kind of force you to make that choice. And I think that's something that definitely, when it came to my mental health stuff, I felt really empowered by, and I think I feel kind of empowered by it even now. Like, I mean, obviously there are consequences to actions, right? So the consequence for me in my situation with the scoliosis was that I was left with some, like, permanent disfigurement, I guess you could call it. Like, that sounds a little intense, but I was left with some physical remnants of it, obviously from the scars and, like, from the offness, all that jazz. And I think that's probably why I'm calling this series Shaped by the Curve, because it definitely shaped me a lot. And definitely having growth spurts was terrifying. That was awful. I hated that. And not feeling in control of my body was also really scary. And just something I just mishandled, in a sense. So, if you are wearing your brace, or you're not wearing your brace right now, learn from my example and wear your brace. Because honestly, the years I lost to regretting that decision sucked. Like, I was always very much an introvert, and I still am, but I was a lot more shy and didn't really talk a lot in high school and things like that. And I would say, if I had any advice, okay, so if I had anything to say to someone out there watching who is living with scoliosis, or is thinking about, hey, I don't want to wear my brace today, or whatever it might be. I have my nails, they're all dead. Honestly, I would say challenge those thoughts. Like, what is it that you're thinking or feeling? And find a way to challenge them. So, like, for me, it would have been like, well, it's not going to fix me. And then a challenge to that thought would be like, well, why am I looking to be fixed? Why am I looking for a cure when there isn't one? And how do I accept that there isn't one? And then do right by myself and for my family and my friends and all this kind of stuff to live the best life that I can with a condition, yes, that I did not ask for. However, I am dealt with it, and what am I going to do about it? So, like, empowerment is also really good. I would also say, I feel like if I had to wear a brace, in some hypothetical universe, I had to wear a brace right now, and I had that choice, I don't think I would be like, nah, I'm just not gonna, I'm not. Like, I think I'd be like, especially having had that past, I'd wear it. And like, yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. It sucks. And yeah, maybe wearing it and still needing surgery, it might be a thing, but at least you did everything you could. You know, like, you don't want to be in that situation where you gave up and you didn't do everything you could to, like, try. And, like, even if it didn't work, like, you didn't fail. You know what I mean? I can also lightly touch on the fact that, like, I always hated the don't ever give up quotes, and I still don't like them, because I never could relate to them really well. I would always be like, well, I already gave up, so what do I do now? Like, never give up is not helpful because I already gave up, so what do I do now? But there was never a quote about that, so. But yeah, this took an interesting turn. I would say, yeah, if you're wearing a brace, or you're not wearing a brace and you need to be wearing a brace and you're dealing with scoliosis and everything, please wear your brace. You will regret it later if you don't. And it might not seem like, 27 is a long way away, but yes, you will regret it. And it's the mental anguish involved in not doing it and just giving up is so horrible. And if I was still as, like, intense with it as I was back then, like, I don't know where I'd be, to be honest. Like if I was still as ruminative about it and, like, consumed with self-hatred and, like, shame and all of that, like, I don't know where I would be. Especially if I had taken that approach with the mental health conditions that I live with, so. It's scary, but there are people out there who will support you and who will encourage you and help you with your recovery and be there for you. And your peers who don't have it might not understand completely, but most people who are dealing with something in life, especially as a teenager, don't necessarily understand. So share it, be open about it, as open as you can be while being safe, and do good by you. Do right by you, because you deserve it, and you're worth it. And it'll get better. The pain, you will find you will tolerate better the more exposure you have to it. And please wear it, because you don't want to be me. So, alright. I'm gonna go. I feel like that was a ride. That was a trip, honestly. Like, this video, it went from, like, woo, kind of silly, like just intense, just like way up here energy level, and like the most energy I've had all day kind of thing. And then it went, like, really, like, serious and dark. Honestly, I don't get serious that much on my channel, even when I talk about things that really should be serious. And are serious, I do treat it seriously. I just don't always express it that way. I have an inappropriate affect, still a symptom I have today. So, that's kinda, I don't know, I don't usually get like that, but for whatever reason, I did today. So, this is gonna be a bitch to edit later, but it's the progression of how things happened. And I definitely think, too, like, trying to have, I called it the golden apple when I was younger and everything, like this golden apple that would cure me from all my things, or like this amazing, perfect, wonderful thing or life that I could lead without having this condition or not having or whatever. That was something that didn't truly exist. And honestly, by that point, once I had my surgery, once I wore the support brace, once I developed a better self-esteem, I was able to accept my body, I was able to grow with my body and love it in a new way, turn that self-hatred into self-love. I realized I didn't need a fix. I didn't need a cure, because I wasn't broken. I was just me. And I wasn't a diagnosis. So that was always really, I think I wrote like a creative writing kind of thing in one of my first writing class when I was in college, because I remember that line, like, you can't fix a scolio. I think it was like that, yeah. I think it was like, you can't fix a scolio because there's nothing to fix. You're not broken. You're just living with a condition. And a lot of other people have lived with that condition. And that's not to make it seem like invalidate you that you're living with a condition. It's to reassure you that you're not alone in that. And if you have treatment options available to you, pursue them. Do right by you. And live your best life. Just go out there and live your best life. Because, you know, we can't control how much time we have on this earth. It's getting really dark, but we can't control how much time we have. And so we have to make the most of it with the best way we can, in the best way we know how. And also, the big thing too, especially with mental health, don't fault yourself for what you know now, what you didn't know before. Because what you know now is a different you than who you were before, and you didn't know those things. So, like, again, for me, like, I've accepted what happened, and I've forgiven myself and done that process of healing, because that's what I needed. And again, now I don't even think about how I've had surgery, or that I have, actually, pain is good in before I end this video. I was very lucky. I didn't, with either spondylolisthesis or the scoliosis, I did not live with pain. I did not have any, like, debilitating pain or anything like that. I was, except for the body stuff, like, I was pain-free. So, I mean, definitely now, like, when I get my period, I get lower back pain pretty bad, and I've gotten different areas of my back now that kind of hurt more. But I do not have pain with it. And, you know, it is scary. It's a scary thing, and there's only so much time on this earth, and only so much time that we have, that we're given. And we don't know exactly when it's gonna all come crashing down, and we should depart from the world. And honestly, you don't want to look back and be like, I wasted so much time doing or not doing something. And again, I've come with peace with that. Like, I don't think about it. I honestly don't. And I don't think about it in the sense that I'm avoiding it. I just don't think about it because it's not an issue that I struggle with anymore. But it is something that I went through, and it's something that definitely shaped me, how I approach my mental health conditions, how I approach that scenario, because then that was all-encompassing in a way. And to that effect. So, I think I've said enough. So, my tagline, as always, I somehow rambled enough, but yep, as always. Oh, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching so much, because that's really awesome, and I hope that you got something out of this video. It was very strange. I apologize. It was a trip. It was a ride. We went on a ride together. Woo! But I hope I said everything that I needed to say, and you got something out of it. And I will see you on Tuesday, my next video, because this will come out Friday, so I'll see you on Tuesday with my third video. And I'll talk more about my own experiences, my stuff, all that kind of jazz within the future videos. We'll go through the whole process and all of the journey and everything like that, and even that letter to myself and all of that. So there's tons more to come, and let's just take a moment to celebrate the fact that I am here. I'm here talking to you. Even though technically you're not here right now, but I'm here talking to you. My doggo is over there. My life is wonderful. And I'm 27. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. And I don't think about that anymore. Not because I'm avoiding it, but because it's not relevant. And I'm happy in life. I have some stuff happening in my personal life that I haven't told you guys about yet, but I'm exploring things I've never explored before, and I'm a gay little bean, by the way, too. I'm gonna come out probably I'm gonna talk a little bit about a coming out story this month for Pride Month, and I've been writing my fanfiction. Well, I haven't written any fanfiction, but I've definitely been rereading my fanfiction, and I was even reading a book. I was reading a book today. Oh, that's fantastic. And yeah, so I feel better even just saying that, like, just kind of reground myself and kind of come back to the moment. You know, my body is my body, and that's how it is. And some of us are just a little more lopsided than the others. But thank you so much for watching. I honestly hope that you were able to like maintain your concentration for this video, because I know it was a lot, and I know it can be a lot sometimes, and also just that you witnessed everything that you did and you were here for it. So thank you for being here, for being alive, and hopefully commenting down below if you can, if you want to, all that jazz. Even if it's something, I'm gonna probably film a couple support stands soon and a life update and all that kind of jazz. So plenty more videos to come for me. Definitely look out Tuesday, Friday for scoliosis based content, and I will see you when I see you. As always, stay safe, take care, be well, much love and light to you. I'm sending you a lot of hugs. I'm not looking at the camera, I'm sorry. I'm sending you a lot of love, a lot of light, a lot of hugs, and we'll get through it. We'll get through it. So, keep the faith, stay positive, hold on, pain ends. Bye. I'm not reshooting this.
I can see a lighthouse through the smoke. Everything is lost, I know. Underneath the roaring of the storm, I can hear the breaking of the dawn.